Welcome. Thanks so much for joining me for Rise and Shine Yoga. I'm Heather, and I'm so happy to be able to offer you a practice that you can do at home to help wake yourself up, body, mind, and spirit. So, we're going to get started today in a seated position, and you can sit on a cushion, on a chair, whatever you find most comfortable. Just making sure that you can sit up nice and tall wherever you are. And we'll begin just by coming into stillness. If you'd like to close your eyes, begin to focus a bit more on yourself and how you're feeling today. And it's like we're turning on that light of awareness. Awareness being the key for being able to understand, to get to know ourselves, and to know when we need to care for ourselves a bit more too. So we're just going to do a scan of the body. You can start from the top down, and you can even visualize, if you're a visual person, you can visualize this light starting to shine down, or sometimes it's like just a kind of a slow moving radiant light that's starting to move around your body. You can imagine that you're sitting in this column of light and it's shining from above and it's starting to come down onto your body. And it's a healing light, vibrational energy. And it's just pouring over your entire being from the top down all the way to the legs and the feet. And it actually can pour right through into the earth. And it's with that light coming down and shining through, and it's coming into your body too. You can imagine that. It's just washing away, dissolving anything that is of a lesser, lower vibration. This is a very high frequency light that we're talking about, that we're envisioning. And it's coming through our body and around our body. And we're resting within this light. And as we breathe, we're breathing in this light into our being. And again, as we exhale, we release whatever we don't need. So you can bring your awareness to all different parts of your body. Sometimes we're not as aware of the back of our body. So just envision not just the back, the physical back, but the space around your body as well, almost like you're now sitting in this beautiful orb of light and it surrounds your entire body. And again, it's dissolving anything that no longer serves you. It's healing from the inside out. And just continue to breathe slow and steady. Visualizing the earth below. You can also visualize your roots of your body through the pelvic floor, the legs and the feet starting to root downward. And for a moment, just notice if you feel more grounded, centered, peaceful here. Let's bring one hand to the heart. And one hand to the belly. Breathing, feeling your breath. But again, try not to just feel the breath in the front of the body, even though our hands are here and that's where our focus might be more. Let's bring it into the back as well at the same time. So we're breathing and opening in all directions. You can take a cleansing breath out whenever you're ready, breathing out through your mouth. We're using these techniques to become more deeply connected to ourselves. And as you're more aware of where you're at today, you could make an intention here for something you need to come back to throughout the class, a reminder. Maybe there's something going on and you want to be extra gentle. An intention to invoke different states of being today. My practice brings me happiness and joy. And we'll slowly bring the hands together at the heart in Anjali Mudra. You can press the thumbs in towards your heart center. And with our next breath in, if you'd like to open up the fingers, except for we'll keep the thumbs and the little fingers together. We'll open the third middle fingers and we'll imagine this is the way to invoke, or it's a way to represent the heart, lotus opening with this mudra that we're doing right now. And we're just using this position now with our hands behind us to sit up a little bit taller and straighter. We can open the chest, roll the shoulders back. And with your next breath in, if you want to release and reach up with the right arm and come over with the exhale for a lovely side bend. And then we'll release that. And we'll reach the other arm up and over. And come over with the exhale and come back up with the inhale and release. And just flow one more time each side on your own time. And we'll bring the arm up and over. And then slowly release. Just roll out the shoulders a few times. And you can move with your breath as you inhale, rolling up, as you exhale, rolling down. And then we'll move in the opposite direction. We'll inhale, up, and exhale, rolling down. And then releasing the shoulders. Sitting up nice and tall. We'll do a few neck stretches here. If you want to turn your head to one side and then gently angle it down towards that side of your chest. And then rolling back to center. And roll and look towards the other direction. And then bring your chin down. And then roll back to center. And this time, if you'd like to lift your chin slightly, and on your exhalation, slowly lower your chin towards your chest. And just continue this for the next few breaths. And you can allow this movement to flow down through your spine, opening the chest as you lift your chin and as you lower your chin, belly in. So doing the seated cat-cow for the next 2 breaths. And then we'll come back to center. And one more thing in the seated position, we're going to do a gentle twist. So bringing one hand across to the opposite knee, the other hand behind you. Again, we want to sit up nice and tall. And just gently twist your back. Starting off really gently. We'll do a few more twists throughout our practice. So this is just a nice starting place here to release the back. To breathe. This is a good way to wake up all those internal organs as well and they get stimulated with that twist. And then you can move to the other side. And keep breathing here. And on your next exhalation, slowly release. We'll come back to center. We'll take our legs out of the position if you're seated, if you're on the chair, just you can stretch out through your legs a little bit more and shake them out. Shake out through the feet. We'll do a few ankle rolls. At the same time, let's do a few wrist rolls too. We'll move in the opposite direction. And then flexing your feet, pointing your toes. And then bringing your feet in with your toes pointing up, heels extending out. And then we'll just do that quick little massage, self-massage, which is wonderful to get your circulation flowing. So let's go down the top of the leg first and then up the inside. Especially with colder weather that we're experiencing right now. Things can get really sluggish within ourselves, within our body, our blood flow or circulation or lymph flow. So we'll go down the outside of the legs now. This is really good to get everything moving again. It's good for our energy body. We're stimulating those energy meridians. Let's go down the back of the leg. And we always come up the inside. And then we'll release that and just shake out a little bit more. Get a sense of how your legs and feet feel. Notice the qualities, the more subtle qualities of your legs. And if that helped to wake up your body, if you can feel that energy flowing now, that's great. Let's come out of this position slowly. We'll move over onto hands and knees. And if you'd like to start with your knees a little bit wider apart and maybe your knees just a little bit further back, not quite the table, we'll roll through the hips a few times. And this will be really nice if you're experiencing anything going on in your lower back, your hips. And breathe and move with your breath as you inhale forward, exhale back. You can start with smaller circles and gradually make them bigger and wider so that you're moving down towards your feet with your hips.
And then we'll move in the opposite direction. Let's start off with a little circle. And just gradually make that circle wider and bigger. And then I sometimes like to, when I'm doing this, just kind of just hold your hips to one side, one foot for a moment, and then you can flow forward. And on your exhale, reach your hips back to the other side. Let's do that one more time each side. Inhale when you're coming forward, exhale, and moving your hips back to one side. We'll try the other side again. And this time coming forward and bringing yourself more into that table position for the cat-cow. As you exhale, arching, lifting your belly, your head lowers. Inhale, slowly look forward, lifting your chin. And continue this flow with your breath. This position is wonderful to do every day, and it really helps you to realize where in your back needs the most attention. You can feel that. Where is the tightest places? I notice that more when I'm in this position, the cat, I can feel where there's tighter areas in my back. And it's just good to know so that we can make sure we take care of those places. And at this time, as you exhale, you might want to hold the cat pose for another breath or two. You can come up onto your fingers if you want. And then walk those hands in and turn those hands around for a moment. And I'm going to do a little stretch for the feet too at the same time, waking up the toes. I'm going to curl the toes under, and then I'm going to position the hands so that the palms are facing forward and just lightly pressing down. And the palms don't have to come right down to the floor. So wonderful stretch for the wrists, and if you're experiencing any kind of carpal tunnel syndrome, that's really good. Let's come back to center in the tabletop now. Release your feet and wiggle your hips from side to side. And as you do that, as you turn your hips one way, turn your head that same way. And we'll do that a few more times. You can move with your breath, inhaling, centering, exhaling, tilting or twisting to one side. And then come back to center. We're going to slide the knees back a little bit or slide the hands forward so that we're coming more into the plank position. Pausing here for a few breaths. If you'd like to move into the full plank, depending on how you're doing today, how you're feeling, what your strength is like, your energy, let me try the full pose. Okay, we'll hold for one more breath. And then we're just going to let the chest lift a little bit, the chin lift, and then come back into child's pose. Good, we're gonna come back up into plank and then just lower down, tuck your elbows in, bend your elbows and lower down onto your belly. You come right into the Sphinx pose for a few breaths. Just notice if you're resting on the front of your pelvis, how that feels for your lower back. Breathing here and letting the spine open. Letting the chest open. Let's try. If this feels good for you, you can bring your hands back underneath your shoulders, elbows in for the cobra. You can hold a gentle
baby cobra like I'm doing right now. Coming back to your breath. And again, depending on how you're feeling today and how your back feels, you might come up a little bit higher. Every day is a little different, so you need to check in and not always expect everything we do to be the same from day to day. Sometimes we really need to come back to respecting our bodies limits on any given day. And that's physically, but also, energetically, we might be healing from something, and a more restorative practice is better. Okay, so then we'll slowly come down. You can touch your head to the floor for a moment, resting here. Resting here. We're going to prepare to come off the belly. So if you'd like to push into your hands and lift off your belly, slide your hands a little bit forward for downward facing dog next. I'm going to come up. And again, I always like to give modifications because we're all, experiencing something different. If you'd rather do like the half dog or puppy pose, feel free. That's the one from the knees, reaching the arms forward. From here, let's walk the feet out from side to side. Bending one knee, straightening the other. I'll just alternate a few more times. And then we're going to bring the left foot a little bit closer. If you're in downward dog, this is going to be a different transition. We're going to lift our right leg up. We're going to you can either bring the knee down and come upright and then slide the right foot forward for a lunge, or you can try from this position, tucking the knee in towards the chest, keeping that leg hovering above and sliding it forward. I know that takes a little bit of time to be able to transition like that, so do whatever you need to do. And we're coming down into the lower lunge for a few breaths, and you can move your hips back and forth. And we're gonna come up into the higher lunge. Well, we're gonna come up into the raised lunge. We're gonna transition our body up. And then bring your arms down. When you feel balanced, you can reach your arms up with the next in-breath. And with the next out-breath, release your arms and reach them back and see if you can interlace your hands together. If not, just keep reaching back, straight back with your hands. We'll hold here for a few breaths. And then you can release your arms. And on your next breath, then reach your arms back up. And as you exhale, we're going to come down back into our lower lunge, this time for a twist. So I'm going to, with my right foot forward, keep my left hand down. You can always use a block or whatever you've got beside you, and bring your right hand to your lower back. Try to keep your hips centered. They tend to want to come out of alignment here, but bring them back to center. And if it feels good, you can try reaching that arm above your head. Keep breathing here. One more breath. And as you exhale, release. We're going to come down and up with the back knee into the higher lunge. And looking back, we're going to slide the front foot back into downward dog. And keep trying to lengthen right through your spine by pulling your hips up and back. If you need to walk your legs out, if you find that your calves or ankles are really stiff and tight, you can walk them out a little bit more.
Come into a position here, holding it. And deciding how you want to transition to the lunge with the left foot forward. If you want to try bringing your right foot more to center and extending up through your left leg for a moment. And three-legged dog. And then you can always come down. You can transition, like I showed you, down onto your knees and then sliding your foot forward. Or you can try this pose here, hovering the knee in towards the chest and then sliding your left foot forward, dropping your right knee down into the lunge. You can move back and forth. If you need props underneath your hands, please use that support. And then we're going to come up into the raised lunge here. If you'd like to slowly transition up, once you feel steady, you're going to reach with the arms. Let's flow with the breath on the next inhale, reaching. Exhale, stay there for a breath. And then see if you can reach your hands back, extending through your arms. You can connect your hands together, or you can just keep pulling back. Find a focal point to help keep you steady here in your balance. And then on your exhalation release, let's lift the arms on the inhale. And we'll move into the twist. So bringing the right hand down. And you can bring your left hand to your lower back. If you want to work with a bit of a support there for your hands, on the floor you can. And you can reach that arm up. Try to center those hips. It's okay if the arm's not going straight up to the ceiling. It could go more out to the side. That's okay too. Breath here. And releasing. We're going to come up into the higher lunge. And this time, walk that back foot forward into standing forward bend. So you can come halfway up. And on your exhalation, sink all the way down. And then you can slide halfway up on your inhale. And on your exhale, release. Good, just really helping to open up the entire back side of your body, right from your feet to your head. It's an incredible pose to really help. So many different ways. It calms ourselves. And to come out of this one, again, plant your feet, bend your knees. You can use the support of your thighs if you hands on your thighs if you need that. We're gonna rise up, reaching up. You can look up for a moment, bringing the arms together, the hands together, interlacing your hands, pointing your index fingers, and then bring your arms in towards your head, your upper arms. Try to straighten and bring them in towards your head the best you can. And then we're going to come over to one side in a side bend. Stay rooted through both feet. Coming back to center on the inhale and reaching through your arms on the exhale. So not just coming over to the side, but also continue to extend straight out through your fingers. So lengthen here, coming back to center. Good. And then we'll release the hands, bring them shoulder distance apart, palms facing, and we'll come into the chair pose. And we're just bending the knees, pretend we're going to sit on a chair. We're strengthening our body here, we're energizing. It's a wonderful pose to build some inner heat, which we could all probably use today. And then you can slowly bring your hands in towards your chest, sink down just a little bit more, and then press down with your feet, slowly rise up. And release, come into mountain pose with your palms facing forward, hoping to roll the shoulders back and open the chest. Breathing here. Bring the palms together, out, straight out in front of you, and reach those arms up, and then circle back. And we'll do this again, but in the opposite direction, circling the arms. And then pulling them down in the front. Let's do that one more time. On the inhale, coming up. On the exhale, opening and reaching back. Flowing with your own breath. And then this time, reach the arms straight up. And exhale to step sideways on your mat. Come into the star formation. We're going to turn the feet out just slightly. And we're going to bend the knees and come into the goddess squat. A beautiful pose, invoking feminine, goddess, earthy energy. And it doesn't matter if you're male or female. We've got both kinds of energy flowing through us, masculine and feminine. Because here we own our earthly power. Bring those elbows down. And then straightening the legs, we'll reach the arms up and out, back into the star. We're going to turn the feet, turn that left foot to point towards the side edge of your mat, and we'll come into the triangle pose. And we'll reach that back arm up and try to root down through both feet here. Good. We'll hold this for one more breath. Notice in yourself and maybe in my body too, I'm trying to keep like straight lines through my side. I'm really rooting down through that back leg. Let's reach the arm over. We'll transition into side angle for a moment. So we're bending that knee and reaching through. And then we're going to try that balancing pose again, because I know that was lots of fun last time. So we're going to try the half moon. Again, it's good to, if we're working on something, to try it a few times. So for half moon, we might want a little bit of support here. We might want to even go to the wall, like I showed you last time. If you're close to a wall, you would just, you would come close enough to touch the hips. But just pretend if you don't have a wall, I'm going to do the same thing here. We're going to come into that side angle, reach the arm up. That feels really nice with the support of the wall. And then I'm just going to reach down and see if I can try this pose here. You're lifting your back leg up. It becomes a lot easier on the wall. But then even at the wall, you can bring your hips away from the wall and just maybe even have your foot touching there for a moment. You don't have to go as far down. The chairs work really nice. If you have a chair, you can rest this hand on the chair. And it's a really nice uplifting position. So I think it lifts my spirits if I can do it and talk at the same time. And remember, every day is a little different, especially we find with balancing. And then when you're ready to release, you can bring your feet together and come into your forward bend. And just let your upper body hang for a moment. It's a little bit of a twist for the body. So we're just bringing our body back into more of a central alignment. And then bend and straighten your legs a few times. Wiggle the hips. When you're ready to come up, roll up and reach out through your arms. And as you exhale, step your feet apart, widening out, taking up lots of space. And just imagine that energy, the energy is coming right from the center core of your body, and it's moving out through your arms, and it's moving out down through your legs, just like you would be like a star, like shining with that light, exactly like a star. It comes right through the head, crown of the head. Good. And then let's do the goddess pose again, the goddess squat. Turn your feet out a little bit. Bring your arms down. Good. You can always do a little bit of pulsating movement up and down. Bring those elbows right in, palms facing forward, fingers stretching out. Just the right amount of effort. Too much effort or too much effort, I guess I could say, or too much tension in the body will shut down the energy flow a little bit, not all the way, but a little bit. If you can find just the right amount of effort, balanced flow of breath, you'll start to feel energy flow in your body in any position. And then we'll release. And from here, if you'd like to turn the right foot out and just make sure you have any support you need on this side. So to get ready for that balancing pose, we're going to start with a triangle. It's not too wide with the legs. Okay. And you can reach your arms up for a moment. And then we're going to come over the right leg. And notice I'm just coming over a little bit because I really want to keep this alignment in the core of my body, because I want the energy to flow. The energy will flow when my body's aligned. There, just doing this, I can feel my energy starting to really flow. Plant rooting down through the feet. This is a very powerful pose. It's one of the oldest, it is one of the oldest yoga poses there is. There's said to be only 5 original postures in yoga from the beginning. I'm not sure how they know, but there must be some way to know that. And probably with the old text, the ancient text. And this is one of them. This is one of them. So it's very powerful at moving energy through the body. We'll come into side angles. You can just lean over for a moment. And then reach that arm. We're going to circle that upper arm. It's really nice just to give it a circle or two before we move into that pose. Again, if you want to use the wall, feel free. Move yourself towards the wall. Line up your feet just pretty close to the wall. They won't be like right at the wall, but they'll be maybe 6 inches or more away from the wall. Make sure you keep that knee centered in alignment with your toes. Have fun with this. If it feels good, keep doing it, even just for a few breaths, even just for 1 or 2 breaths, right? It's really good. If you're done, you're done. And then you could even try one more time if you wanted to. You might notice that one side is easier than the other. When you come out, just reach your arms straight up over your head with the wide-legged pose. Let that energy shoot through. right through the central channel, right up to the crown and beyond. Root down through the legs and the feet. Good stuff. We're going to flow into wide-legged forward bend. And I hope you had fun with the half moon pose again. If it's a new pose to you, it's good to do it a few times, right? A few times in your practice, but also like come back to it at least once a week. From here, we can do a little twist. We can bring one hand up to the lower back. Again, if you want to use props, they're there for you, right for your hands. Back to center and try the twist on the other side. And then we'll release. That. Come back to the twist or come back to center and slowly bring your feet closer in until you can feel steady to come up. Breathing here in the mountain. Letting things clear. And take a big breath in into your back body more. Feel the expansion as you inhale into your back. And as you exhale, release. Slowly come down. Get ready for our winding down time. And if you want to have anything close to you, maybe you're a little cool, you want a blanket, eye pillow. Come down slowly when you're ready onto your back. And just feel your back widen out on your mat. Feel all those places that are touching. And there might be some places of your back that aren't touching, but that's okay. We can, over time, in this position, as our body releases, it comes into alignment, we notice that our back can just pull onto the mat. And it just widens and softens right out, especially with your knees bent, with your feet on the floor. One pose that really helps promote that release through the back is the bridge. So let's bring the feet in and the arms down and plant your feet firmly down into your mat. And notice how you naturally want to lift through the hips, and that this position is coming from the legs. The lift is coming from the legs. Notice how you can, the weight is coming a little bit more into the shoulders and into the back of the head. And you can use your body push down through your feet. And what that might happen is you might push down through your shoulders just a little bit more. Slide them down away from your ears. Lengthen your neck. It always feels nice. And then slowly roll down. Vertebra by vertebra onto your back. And if you'd like to do that a few times with your breath, rooting down on the inhale, lift up. And on the exhale, come right down. And try to come down as slowly and shifting from one bone to the next down your spine. And we'll be here for one more breath. And then release, let your back sink down into the mat. And we'll slowly bring the knees in towards the chest. And this is another wonderful way to help release the back, to loosen up the lower back, the hips, and to stimulate and improve the function of your internal organs, especially those lower digestive organs as you squeeze here. And do a little rolling around on your back or with your legs. Move on flow. Do what feels good. Keep breathing here, in and out. To end here, my last pose, I'm going to choose the happy baby. You might get a sense of wanting to do something different. So please follow whatever comes. Okay. Happy babies when you hold on to your legs, whatever way you can, with your knees bent and wide, legs wide. You bring your feet up in the air. I like to hold onto the big toes with my first two fingers. It also helps to pull out those big toes, so creating space in the joint there. If you're in the happy baby, you can slowly lower your feet down, but keep your knees wide. If you can, keep your hands on your ankles or feet and bring the feet closer together. I might shift now to bring my hands to the outsides of my feet or ankles and do a version of the butterfly pose. And then you can slowly release your legs, bring the legs back together. You could circle them a few times. Get ready for your final relaxation position, Shavasana, and allowing your body to rest, to rejuvenate, to integrate everything we've been doing so far. All the energies of our body become balanced here. All we need to do is let go, get really comfortable. Support your body in whatever way you can to let it relax more deeply. At the beginning of our pose here, if you want to take a few more deeper breaths in and out, you might notice that there's more freedom, more space for your breath to move through your body. Which is another beautiful benefit of all these opening stretches, is it creates more space for our breath to flow, increasing our energy. Breathing in a balanced way in and out. I can feel the breath opening, not just through the front, but also through the back and the sides of my torso. Long breath out.
Take one more deep breath in like that. At the end of this exhalation, allow my breath to soften, allow my breath to breathe me now. As I let the back of my body sink down through the back of the head, the backs of the shoulders, and through the back of the hips, down the legs to the back of the feet, wherever you feel your body resting on the mat or on a support. Just let those places sink more. Let the front of your body open more. Release the tendencies to tense up, to grip, to tighten. Ultimately, what we're doing when we do those unconscious things our body does is we are guarding ourselves. We're trying to protect ourselves, which is, can serve a purpose, but here and now you are safe. You are protected. All is well, and you can allow yourself to open, to expand outwards. Sometimes we feel a little vulnerable when we open ourselves up. This is good practice. To be able to go out into the world and sometimes be vulnerable, be open. You've got this beautiful energy protecting you. Come back to that visualization of the light, the orb of light shining around you, your aura. Could be, you could visualize and just let the visualization come naturally to you. You might see it in a different way, different colors, or resting in this light, this healing light that dissolves away the lower energies, dissolves away those energies that no longer serve you. Let everything dissolve. The light's getting brighter and brighter. And you can come back to this visualization whenever you feel you need to. I don't want to use the word protect, but strengthen yourself, your energy. Number one thing is the awareness, and we need to notice those times when we maybe need to strengthen our energies more consciously.
You can start to slowly shift around a little bit now. You might rock your head from side to side. You might feel good to do a full body stretch here. Make sure you're take time to, come back to that intention that you might have set at the beginning of the class and seal it in with your heart. You bring your hands to your heart. Today, my intention is to invoke more happiness into my life. Again, I can do this with my awareness. I can simply smile more. Simple things. You can roll over whenever you're ready. Try to continue to stay that for a few moments when you come out. Keep that connection to yourself as you transition. And just a few more conscious breaths in and out. Bring your hands together at your heart. Namaste. And thank you so much for joining me today. And I hope you have a wonderful day.